வணக்கம் நேயர்களே, நீங்கள் கேட்டுட்டு இருக்குது SA Tamil Radio திருவுடன் இசை பயணம். And we move on now to another young nightingale, also a super singer, runner-up, Pragathi, and she is down in South Africa the second time round. வணக்கம் Pragathi.
வணக்கம். It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, it's such a pleasure that you have taken the time to be with our listeners and to share your story. Pragathi, your second trip to South Africa, it's like coming back home?
Oh, absolutely. We had such a good time the first time, and everybody here is like family now, like you said. This is my first time visiting Johannesburg for a few concerts, so I'm very excited for that, but it also feels good to be back home.
Excellent. You know, we South Africans are like that. Very, very hospitable and homely.
Oh yeah, you don't even have to tell me.
Pragathi, you have been very successful in the Super Singer program, and as we spoke to Satya as well, it is indeed life-changing, and it has taken your life in a different direction altogether. Could you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
So Super Singer actually came, I would say, by luck, just because living in the US, I specifically was never very attached to the show, or I never used to watch very much. Whenever I came to Chennai over the summer or during my holidays, my grandparents used to be very attached to it, so I would also watch with them. I watched, I think, the first or second season, and I loved it so much. And when I went back, I never thought to watch again. I would watch a lot of American reality shows. I always learned and sang classical music. And my mom, when she was in Chennai one summer, she just decided to send my CD and say, well, my daughter sings too, how much of a chance does she have? And we almost took it as a joke, like they wouldn't be, they receive so many CDs and videos, they probably won't even come across this. And when the chance came, it was almost like, it was definitely, I would say, life-changing, and the fact that we moved there and we even pursued it for a year still seems like a dream to me. So it all just came together very fast, and it went by also very quickly.
Indeed a surreal experience for you. And you said it came by very fast, but it's also fast-tracked your life as well.
Definitely. I think so much has changed since then. I can't even imagine what I would be doing if I hadn't gone through that experience.
And Pragathi, you also come from a family of musicians. Take us a little bit into your family.
So both my parents sing, my grandparents sing, my sister sings, so all of us come from a very strong classical background. I started singing when my sister started learning classical music, and I also always used to sing her songs and practice with her, and we had tons of fun together, and that's kind of how my journey began. When we came to the US, we both were learning Carnatic classical music, then we also started learning Hindustani classical. So for many, many years, almost 10 or 11 years, I've been learning classical music, just as my dad sings and my mom sings, and the whole family is basically just always singing. My mom jokes around and says even the walls in our house sing. So yes, we do come from a very large family of musicians.
So I'm sure your pastime game would be Antakshari.
Oh, absolutely. We had so much fun playing.
For our listeners, Pragathi, would you sing maybe the first line or first verse of your favorite song?
I think continuing the trend that Satya began, I'll sing an old song. Mm-hmm. And I think even last time I've come to see that the South Africans really enjoy the older numbers.
They do.
Atta yennatta avar yennaitha eppadi solvenadi atta yennatta avar yennaitha eppadi solvenadi avar கையைத்தான் கொண்டு மெல்லத்தான் வந்து கண்ணைத்தான் எப்படி சொல்வேனடி அத்தான் என்னத்தான் அவர் என்னைத்தான் எப்படி சொல்வேனடி. Vanakkam, you're listening to Thiruvudan Isai Payanam on SA Tamil Radio.
And you're in the company of Pragathi and Thiru on the other side. So we have a new anchor for the show today in Pragathi. She not only sings so beautifully, but she can also anchor the show. Pragathi, you have sung so far, you've gotten the opportunity, I would say. You are so far away in the US. But you have had the opportunity to sing for 2 songs as a playback singer. For 2 movies. Enlighten our listeners on that.
I would have to say both those opportunities came from Super Singer. The first song that I sang for Bala Sir's movie Paradesi, I received a call the day after the finals were over, and Bala Sir himself called and said, I really enjoyed your performances on Super Singer, and I'm a very staunch follower of the program, and I really loved the way that you sang, and I want you to sing for my next movie Paradesi. And it all felt like such a surreal experience. I couldn't believe that it was actually happening. And the very next day I went to GV Sir's studio and I was able to record the song. It took quite a few days as it was my first try in the studio. So Bala Sir and Vairamuthu Sir were there with me through the whole recording of the whole song. It was truly an amazing experience. And then a year or so later, Anirudh had called and he wanted me to sing in his movie Vanakkam Chennai. And that was actually a very special opportunity because I was in the US at the time and we actually did like a Skype recording. We had a studio in the US and then he Skype called and he monitored the recording over Skype. And it was really nice to know that that's also a possibility. And we had a lot of fun. Anirudh is such a great guy to be working with, just like Satyana said. He's very cool and lots of fun, and we had a really great time working together. So both those recordings were very special for me.
As you said, it's so amazing that the internet now can really shrink the world.
Absolutely.
And that you can even do recordings over Skype, even for a song. Why don't you sing the first line or so for our listeners of one of those songs so that they could listen to the rest of it as we play it on.
Hey, kanna tarandalo karayavilla, kanavana puriyavilla, poovin madi mele thongum banda, nanu maaritta kavala illa, en kan paakodu ramara. எங்கன் பாக்கோதுராவர பச்சை புவிச்சதர அது மேல ராணிய போல நான் போனேன்.
You're listening to SA Tamil Radio, and I have in the studio with me Pragathi, the super singer runner-up who is making waves throughout the world. Pragathi, what are your future plans? Do you have any other songs coming up? Are you concentrating on your studies now?
I would have to say a little bit of both. It's quite difficult to keep up a playback singing or just rather a singing career while also continuing my studies. But I've been doing a lot of private album recordings and releasing a lot of singles recently. I recently, just last week, I released a song with TJ for the album Maze in Ideyam, and I'm very excited about that. We have some future plans to record a music video and we're planning a huge release for that. I've been recording some other songs as well. Quite excited for all of those releases. I'm hoping in the future to make an album myself. So we have plans for that. I've been getting a lot of offers to not only sing but also act. So we'll see how those go as well. I have been concentrating on studies. I just finished 11th and going into 12th. I'm on my summer vacations right now and applying to college and things like that. So a lot of stuff going on at once, just taking things one step at a time.
But it's good to know that being so young, you're able to create a balance, have this career on one side as well, concentrate on your studies, and you're even touring the world as well at times. Then it also just came to mind that you being in the US, being an Indian singer, that it's also opening up different sorts of opportunities for you to collaborate with Western musicians in the US?
Absolutely. Not only in the US but worldwide. I think I've had such a privilege to be able to collaborate with artists all over the world. Not only American musicians but also people from London, Germany, Australia, Malaysia, all over the place. I've recorded quite a few albums and it's so nice to be working with independent artists because they're also trying to grow and to be able to work with them, share their music, and just generally sing and jam with them is such an inspiring and wonderful experience. I'm really glad that I was able to do that.
Pragathi, being so young again, what keeps you grounded? Because I think that's so important when you are sort of overwhelmed with so much of success at a young age. You must have some grounding.
Absolutely. I think that definitely comes from how my parents have brought me up as well, and definitely give a lot of credit to that. But at the same time, it's kind of like, for all of us, I think I can speak on even Satya Anna's behalf, it's that before this whole super singer and all this playback singing came into way, we were just classical singers trying to make our way through, and to think about the life that we had then and how things have changed now, it's still very difficult for us to accept that people are so crazy about our music and people want us all over the world to perform, people want us to record, people want to listen to us. And I think everywhere we travel and everywhere we sing, it's just a new experience for us, and it opens up our eyes to so many different things, and it really teaches us that we have a huge responsibility in our hands to not only entertain these people, but lots of people worldwide take our music to a whole new level, and it's very, very special to them. And I think we carry a huge responsibility, and that itself, in and of itself, takes away from the glamour and kind of gives us a sense of responsibility that we need to hold as far as our music is concerned.
So you understand that responsibility, and that also keeps you grounded.
Absolutely.
Pragathi, when I look at you, when I look at Satya, and all those other singers who've come out of these reality shows, you've actually taken music to another level, as you just said. It's global. All of a sudden, Indian music is global. It's not only going to the Indian listener. It's going to all people all over the world. And you and Satya have also performed together before in different parts of the world. Tell us about that and those experiences.
I think, like you said, we were both given, and a lot of us included have been given the wonderful opportunity and a platform like Super Singer to showcase our talent worldwide and take Indian music to a whole new level. And Satya and I have performed previously. We've performed on a tour in the US and a tour in Switzerland, and I definitely have to say that it's such a pleasure performing with him because we have so much fun together. I learned so much from him in the process, and I mean, it's really a joyful experience. It's not like we've come all the way just for a show, and it's not like just work. It's like we're having a lot of fun together, and I'm so excited for all of these shows in South Africa, and it's so nice to think that both of us are the first to come to South Africa from Super Singer to be able to perform. And even the CEO of Vijay TV, Sriram Uncle, has personally sent us an email saying that he's so happy that Super Singer is so prevalent in parts of the world like Africa, and that's really something so special for us to hear, and we're so happy to be here and very excited to perform for all of you.
Thank you so much, and I'm sure that you have whetted the appetite of all the South African rasikas of music, not only of Indian music, but they are definitely going to be looking out and wanting to come to the shows. One last question for you, Pragathi. With regards to your studies, do you think you're going to pursue music professionally, or you are looking at another career?
I don't really know if I'm in a position to be able to answer that question now, because I've been thinking about it for many years now. And now that music has become such a big part of my life, it's definitely something to consider. As I'm applying to college, I'm hoping to pursue a double degree with music as well as another subject, hopefully either business or law. Music will definitely be a huge part of my life, but I don't wish to put a stop just there yet. I would say that I'm decent at studies, so I wouldn't want to give that up along the way. I'll definitely be singing and performing as much as possible when I'm studying, but music probably won't be the only thing.
That's good. And for our listeners in South Africa, a little sneak preview into what they could expect from you in the shows to come?
Absolutely. We've taken a lot of care and a lot of time to pick out some South African favorites for the concert, like
மஞ்சள் வானம் தென்ற சாட்சி உனக்காகவே நான் வாழ்கிறேன்.
And
Definitely.
some songs that I sang last year as well, like
நெஞ்சுக்குள்ளே உம்மா முடிஞ்சிருக்கேன் இங்க எத்திசையில் என் பொழப்பு விடிஞ்சிருக்கும்.
So we have songs all over the board. We have some fusion numbers. We have Redman sir songs, Ilayaraja songs. We have a special tribute to MSV sir. So we've planned quite a lot for all of these concerts, and I'm so excited to be performing with Satya Anna and for the second time in South Africa. So I hope all of you join us for a wonderful musical night in Durban and Johannesburg.
Thank you so much, Pragathi, for making your time available to us and sharing your beautiful story, your beautiful voice. And again, on behalf of SA Tamil Radio, we wish you all of the best. God's richest blessings to you, and may you grow from strength to strength. The sky is the